Hi, it's Joan. The Sura reading today is book 38. It's called Saad. When I looked up the term in Arabic, it's hazin. I thought that originally the core of the message was about opposing arrogance, and I had assumed that that meant wealth, that Islam takes a middle class perspective, but I learned something. When I read about the commentary, and this was from Islam.org, it said the chapter was about avoiding every type of sin. And the verse I thought related to that was not to follow your own desires. But the reason I thought it was about opposing arrogance was in verse 2, 74, 76, and 23 to 24. And also opposing disbelief. So I'm going to do a prayer. This is from the Cow or Al-Baqarah, verse 201. Allah, give us in this world that which is good, and protect us from the punishment of fire. I suppose that's hell. And then it says, also never to give in to sorrow. And I thought, well, how can you do that? That's easy to say. People have told me when I've been hurt to let things go in one ear and out the other. And I thought that would be fine if I didn't have a brain in the middle. But my husband, one time he said, Jenny, just cry. And if someone has ruined your day, just address it and fight it. So what I decided was to name myself Cry Fixed, which is like to take a picture of yourself when you're crying and to use it as motivation to remove what caused it in the future. Also, the story also reminds me of a song I like called The Power of Gold, which is by Fogelberg. And it's asking in the song, are you under the power of gold? So the verses where I thought it was about arrogance, those are, in verse 2 it says, disbelievers are entrenched in arrogance and opposition. Also, that arrogance is not just wealth, it's self-importance. And then verse 23, it says to a judge, David, I have 99 sheep, and this person is asking me for the one that I have. So the judge, David, he told him, well, that person has wronged you. And then it says that Iblis, and where's this verse? Iblis acted arrogantly, becoming unfaithful. So we're not supposed to give in to our own desires. That he is the leader of devils or the initiator of a sin. And that is thinking you're better than someone else. I also read a book that was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it was asking, the author's name was Robert Kiyosaki, and he asked, isn't the root of all evil the love of money or wealth? And he said, rather, it's the lack of money that causes evil. So there's two opinions, and actually Islam does agree with it somewhat, saying that it's not so much what you do with wealth, because it mentions the three people, David, Solomon, and Job. They were all blessed with wealth. It described David as wealth pouring into the treasury, but that wealth was used to build a large worship center. And then also Job, who was persecuted, also described him as being blessed with much wealth. But it's more important how you obtain that wealth also. I think I have covered everything I saw. the last section in this surah says, oh, well, there's also a verse 28 I thought was interesting. It says, should we treat the righteous as the same as the wicked? Because one time I wondered why there was injustice in the Christian Bible. It said, because God wants to be fair to every person he created. Then the last verse in this, it says about the Quran, I don't ask you for any reward for this Quran, nor do I want to pretend to be someone I'm not.